one of the places in the vision board I wrote, I should be a head or CXO or founder of a company. So after 2 weeks, I was talking to one of my neighbors, and then he said, Sridhar, why don't you start a company? I said, I don't have financial background, so let me see when it comes. He said, forget about everything, let's start. So within 2 weeks, the company formed. And then guess what? I'm the CTO of the company.
I started meditation, and very quickly it became something much bigger and much more beautiful. Before I even realized, I started enjoying it. And then I was attending my father's manifestation workshop. And in the middle of one of the sessions, just very randomly in my meditation, I get this thought that says, look at that website of that course once again. And I was thinking that I know the deadline is passed. In July only the deadline is over. So why did that come up? But I still opened it. And it says that they've extended the deadline by 1 month. So I have time. Within 2 days, everything, we finished it. We submitted the application. And from then on, literally everything happened so magically.
Despite of having all the qualifications and the work visa, I was unable to get in the job. So again, the spiritual concept that came into hand was law of giving. So I set an intention to myself, okay, if I find a job, I'm going to give 10% of my salary for the spiritual service. That was the intention I set for myself. So within few days, miraculously, friends, you don't believe this, I got into my job within few days. So that was the power of law of giving.
Happy evening, friends, and happy morning for those joining from the West. Welcome back. We are into third week of this 40-day program. And this week, we are understanding the concepts of manifestation. Manifestation is to experience life to the fullest. Meditation is not just for solving problems or for something when you don't have anything to do. It is to live the life to the fullest. So we understand the concept and how through manifestation, we can experience life to the maximum. And we do that again, not because somebody else is telling. As Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you want to see. So we change our beliefs, our thoughts to create our reality. So excited to continue this journey. I welcome Chandra back to share his wisdom. Welcome back, Chandra.
Thank you, Rakesh. Happy evening, dear friends and masters. Great morning. This morning, I was sharing about the simplicity of the meditation process that we practice in. Many, and I keep hearing that it is very difficult. It's difficult to do. Making mind empty is very, very difficult. I was contemplating, what are we saying for this process? Observe the breath. Observe the breath to get into the meditation, right? Observe the breath. And then that's it. Observe the breath. Let things happen. If there are thoughts anytime, attention back to the breath. That really, really only two things we have to do. Nothing else in this process. We can sit down with eyes closed. That's not a problem. Sit down with eyes closed. We're saying, observe your breath. Your natural breath the way it is. And then we'll go on. When you observe the breath, many things may happen. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter for us at all. The breath may be lighter, may become shorter. We may notice it, we may not notice it, doesn't matter. But as you observe the breath and just start observing the breath. Simple process of observation. Now, in a little while, you may go somewhere because thoughts are coming. So thoughts have hijacked your process. Or you may forget that you're observing the breath. Or you're going to a state where you start experiencing something. But what we have to do consciously is to observe the breath. One thing. And what we have to do consciously is when we know, when we start the process, we observe the breath and then start the process. It's going to take us somewhere. So don't bother about where it's taking us. But at any point thereafter, if we recognize we are in thought, that means you need to know that you are thinking. Until then, you don't even know that you're thinking, right? Because you're in the thought. If you recognize we are in thought, bring your attention back to the breath. Meditation means you have to empty the mind. Oh, the mind is not getting empty. The too many thoughts are there. Meditation means you experience this emptiness. There is so much. Okay, I don't see emptiness. I still see all my body. All that for a moment, let's drop all of that, suppose. We don't need all of that. Because all of that happens automatically. If we just unlearn everything and we just really hold on to just these two things, start the process by observing the breath. I can do it. Now, where it takes me, let it take. That observation, in the next second, I may just go away into a thought potential. Next second, my breath might have become totally empty, that I have nothing to observe, so I go into this empty states, maybe. Doesn't matter where it's going to take me, but I start my process by observing the breath and observing, and slowly, slowly I go somewhere. Only another time you got to act is when there is a thought, when I suddenly realize, why am I in thought? I'm supposed to be doing observation of the breath, but why am I in thought? Come back to observe the breath. If you can just really listen to, just prepare, then just take only these two, nothing more. Our meditation will be great. I think more often we are burdening ourselves with the concept of, I have to empty the mind. My thoughts are always there. We are burdening ourselves with this thing that I have to empty the mind. And since it doesn't happen, and then we try, and it becomes effort, and then it feels like it's so difficult to hold on to. If you notice, we're always saying, thoughts are part of the process. And so, emptiness may happen, may not happen. If it happens, many times we don't even know. And so it is still beneficial. If it doesn't happen in the way we perceive it didn't happen, but then there always something is happening, and so then it's still beneficial to sit down, because even just by having our eyes closed, 80% of the thoughts have come down. The goal of meditation is to go away from unwanted thought and chatter. The goal of meditation is to have less interference to the body, so that the body goes back to homeostasis functions. And the goal of meditation is to reduce the mind clutter, so that you're connecting from this quantum field to receive by the activating the pineal gland, which is happening when you have less and less thoughts, so that the melatonin chemicals gets produced. Not necessarily empty mind, lessen thought. Lessen thought, more melatonin, more activation of the pineal gland, and so then more receiving. So they're all happening as the thoughts probably are coming down. But again, we don't even need to know about it, because just by observing the breath, that process is happening automatically. So what I'm saying is that we can unlearn everything about the process, the experience, this and that. Now we need to know about an experience later so that we are removing our fears to move forward. Nothing more. Because sometimes it's fearful if my body is shaking. And so we just need to know, yes, it is okay. So reinforcing it. But otherwise, it has no relevance right now in the beginning stages of meditation. In the beginning stages of meditation, all of those that will happen, no relevance. We don't have to know anything more other than saying that, okay, there's some experience, I just need to be a witness to it. So the process, again, is observe and start the process. You don't really care where the breath observation is taking you. And if you are forgetting, be with it. You don't have to bother to bring your attention back to the breath because you don't even know. The only time you're bringing your attention back, the only time is when you see that you're in a thought. The only time you're bringing your attention back to the breath is when you think that you're in a thought. That is the part that we have to latch on to. You're not forcing yourself to observe the breath. You're not forcing yourself to observe the breath. What does it mean? When you're observing and automatically you're going to the empty states. And so then there is a let go happened automatically. And the let go happened in an empty state. You are aware that your body may be shaking, there's energy feeding, this and that. You're aware. In a meditative experience state where you're aware some things are happening that you know you are not, they're happening involuntarily without your involvement. And so then you don't have to, hey, what's all this happening? So let me put my breath back here, attention back to the breath. We don't. The only time you're bringing your attention back is when you feel like you're thinking, you're projecting. You are constantly thinking about your immediate life situation, that you know it. So we're going to look from that perspective in our meditation today, starting with observing the breath and then attention back to the breath only time when there is a thought in our mind. Otherwise, we're not bothered. Empty mind, not bothered. Less thought, more thought, doesn't matter. Experiencing something or not, doesn't matter. In opposite of manifestation, yesterday we understood the 5-step process. The first one being single point focused, minded. I think meditation is bringing it all. And so we'll dwell deeper after meditation into the second one about developing openness to possibilities. So let's go into this simple meditation day, friends. We're practicing breath mindfulness meditation as a core technique. Our goal is to observe the breath and then be with it. And then let it take us to wherever it takes us. We are building awareness. In our meditation, we're building awareness. When we observe the breath, for a period of time, we build awareness about where our mind is. In the beginning stages, that's our goal, is to build awareness. All right. So the process simply with your eyes closed, fingers into fingers, hands in our lap comfortably, crossing your feet at ankle, and the way you're sitting in the chair comfortably, and then observe the breath anywhere in the nose. If you're wearing spectacles, remove them. This is for newcomers. Wearing spectacles, remove them. Anywhere in the nose, take a point, and as a reference, and observe your breath is going in and coming out, your natural breath. Just observe that. When you observe, slowly, many things can happen. Doesn't matter. So as you observe, and then you may go into thought, the thoughtless state, you may have thoughts, but if you recognize there are thoughts, again, bring your attention back to the breath. Otherwise, just observe. And then let it take wherever it takes you. All right? This is called breath mindfulness meditation. We're spending maximum time. Before going into it, we are practicing something called heart elevation method. Just follow my guidance. For that, there'll be music and there's also guidance to help us go into deeper states of meditation. Relax yourself, dear friends. Sit comfortably. Relax your body. Dear friends, dear masters, with your eyes closed, specs removed, keep your hands on your chest area. Rest your attention on your sacred heart. Can you feel your beautiful heart? Feel the seed of all emotions, which is nurturing all life with its energies of love, compassion, kindness. Recollect an experience from your past, from your present, where you felt enormous love, gratitude, compassion. Relive that moment and elevate yourself with that energy. relive that moment of love, of joy, and feel that energy inside a beautiful heart, and allow to radiate that energy onto every part of this planet Earth to heal the planet, to heal everybody, to heal yourself. Where your attention goes, there the energy flows. Feel it. The more you experience this energy of love, the more coherent you become. And slowly, let's go into breath mindfulness meditation. With your fingers into fingers, resting your hands comfortably in your lap. Observe your normal, natural in-breath and the out-breath. Observe your normal, natural in-breath and the out-breath. as you observe your breath. You may notice the breath becoming lighter and shorter. And allow yourself to observe that lighter, that shorter in-breath and the out-breath, dear friend. If you notice you are in thought, go back to observing your breath, dear friends. Allow yourself to merge into your in-breath and the out-breath. As you observe your breath, the thoughts may become lesser and lesser. Can you notice any sensations in your body? Can you find emptiness of no body, of no thing? All around. If you find yourself distracted in thought, go back to observing your breath, dear friends. Allow yourself to merge into your breath. We are less matter, more emptiness and energy. We are intricately connected in the quantum field as one. Stay aware of the emptiness that you may notice inside of you, all around you. That quantum field of energy. Everybody and everything are connected in this quantum field of energy. The longer that we may experience that emptiness, that energy, the more whole we become, the more one we become. Viewership. Relax your body and let your autonomous nervous system repair your body.
I am powerful. I've let go of my past and celebrate who I've become. I am beautiful. I am powerful. And I celebrate who I am. I've let go of my past and celebrate who I've become. I am beautiful. I am powerful. And I celebrate who I am. I am beautiful.
Recollect your experiences from the session, and whenever you're ready, you may keep your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds and then you may open your eyes. Okay, friends. Hope you enjoyed the session. We are understanding the science of manifestation, and the second step, one of the most important ones. And today, as part of understanding these possibilities, we also understand, scientifically speaking, from quantum physics perspective, the foundational statement that we've been talking about, our thoughts and feelings create a reality. How did that happen? They're all linked up into this subject that there are many possibilities. What does it mean? That these possibilities come into physicality through our thoughts and feelings. How does it happen? If we understand these two, there are many possibilities, and I'm able to bring the possibility into physicality, then at some level we can accept to develop an openness. Because otherwise we're constantly colored with a past experience, which is many times saying that it is not going to be possible. That's not going to be possible because we are colored with the based on the past experience. There's something to show, to tell us what may be possible, because we keep predicting based on the past. So let me put up some slides around this. The 5-step process, as a quick recap: developing single-pointedness, openness to possibilities, setting clear goals and visualizing on it, reprogramming negative beliefs and accepting the current reality, and express gratitude as ways of being coherent. So step 2 that we are covering today, develop openness to possibilities. Everything is energy, and there are unlimited experiences in the quantum field. And so we are saying, allow these experiences to flow into your life by staying open and by tuning into them through daily meditation. I wanted to cover this aspect that, when I came into meditation, and then typically many spiritual science, what we consider spiritual science, meditation science, it always said something about this whole creation. But later, when I got to understand quantum physics, I was able to draw parallelism from what I heard through spiritual science, and then it seems to make sense, particularly around this concept of thoughts create reality. When I read the book Secret, when I saw the movie Secret, then the law of attractions, several books are there. Then there are many people talk about various manifestations. Then, of course, some of the scriptures that I come from the Indian background, so there are scriptures from Hindu scriptures that talk about a few things of what that exists, everything exists, and then how things are getting created. So in all of them seem to tell that thoughts create reality. So what it considers spiritual science. But then when we start drawing parallelism to quantum physics, it became obvious that they all are reflected in the modern physical, in this quantum physics science too. The first thing that I kept hearing, and then if you did not hear about it, it's okay, then I think it's easy, right? You can ignore the left science part of it completely. But if you have heard, then we can draw the parallelism here. Because many of us understand some version of spiritual science, spirituality. It's not religion. I'm not talking about spirituality as religion, because that is also their interpretation. Spirituality is not religion. Spirituality is dealing with things that are invisible to know more about ourselves. Now we're adding science to it, the quantum physics, neuroscience, and many things to say what that spirituality is saying always, can it be explained through modern sciences, right? So the statement that we hear, we're not the body, we are consciousness, we are divine, we are soul. You know, the word soul also comes regularly, right? That there is soul, there is body, and then there is soul reincarnating many times, and then there is this body. We're not the body, we're the soul. The idea there is that you are much more than the body. That's really what they're telling. In Indian scriptures, it is there, Aham Brahmasmi. The Upanishads, the Vedic scriptures said, Aham Brahmasmi. Tattvamasi, that means I am the Brahman. The Brahman means that exists, everything that exists, the whole entire universe that exists out there. Tattvamasi means you are that. I am that, and you are that. So that's perhaps why the childhood questions about, hey, what is governing this whole thing? And say, okay, there is that consciousness is there. Some divine, some power is there that we don't understand. Of course, quantum physics later on, and many of them said it, I don't really understand how things happen, but something is there, something is governing. But in the spiritual sense, the statement that we're not the body, we are conscious as divine, are the soul. And in quantum physics, it says we are tiny matter, we are all energy. The tiny matter is 0.0000011 zeros and 1%. We are tiny matter, more energy. The science is telling us now that if you look at a body, we are matter, the thing that we're saying, material stuff is very, very tiny. I mean, really full of energy. It's all energy. So it comes back very close to that, the body that we say, refer to body on the left side is a physicality. And then we are really something beyond the body, and spiritual science, quantum physics corroborating that, saying we're energy. Number two, we have any amount of power in us, the divine power. When we use the word divine, to say that unlimited, everything is possible. I am that consciousness, you are that, from Vedic scriptures of India. And say, if that is the case, then you have, what is that? Consciousness is everything that exists. So there is a power, there is any amount of power. Now, quantum physics is saying we are unlimited possibilities and potential. They're saying there's a field that we are, that energy that we are, has any amount of experiences that are possible. They're waiting to happen. They're sitting there in this field of possibilities as energy. That's what quantum physics is saying now. The unlimited possibilities. There's a third statement that I kept hearing in the beginning. Thoughts create things. Thoughts shape your reality. Mahatma Gandhi said, you're a product of your thought. Walt Disney said, if you can dream it, you can see it. Business leaders say, a business phrase, if you can see it, you can hold it. That means they're saying, if you can see in your mind, you can hold it. Typical business phrase. Henry Ford said, if you think you can do it, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. Now the law of attraction, the spiritual masters, Patriji always said, many spiritual masters, Jerry Esther Hicks, or the Seth Channel, Jane Roberts, are the modern ones like Bruce Lipton or Dr. Joe Dispenza. They're talking about your personality shaping up your personal reality. Your personality is your thoughts, feelings, and environment. So many ways, whether it's business leaders, whether it is great philosophers or religion heads, everybody is same to say that your thoughts can shape up your reality. The unlimited power that is there is obtained through thought. Now, friends, but luckily and interestingly, the observation manifests the possibilities is an experimentation through which quantum physics talking about observation manifesting the possibility. First, we are unlimited possibility. First, we are energy that has unlimited possibility, and then your observation manifests the possibility. But you observe, or observation is your thought that you're putting onto it. So there seems to be some match here, and it became more interesting to explore this little more. So Neil Bohr, as we before going, Neil Bohr said everything we call real is made up of things that cannot be regarded as real. We are thinking that matter, we are thinking the body is real, solid stuff is real, the furniture is real, the cell phone is real, everything is real, but they say it's not be regarded as real because it's made of things that cannot be regarded, because they know that it's made up of energy. When they went deep at the micro level, because that's the quantum physics world is all micro. And they thought it's all energy, it's not real physical stuff. So they say it's not real because you cannot regard as real. And where we say reality is very predictable, but Einstein is saying reality is uncertain, it's not predictable. The reality that we think is predictable, what does it mean? Let's understand it. When you step out of home this morning, you say it takes 10 minutes to go to my office. Can you predictably say that it is always and it is going to be with certainty it's 10 minutes? The answer is no. Which no one can say with certainty it's 10 minutes. The parking spaces are always full because it's very busy hour. Can you say that with certainty? No. The sky is clear. Now you're driving from home to office. It takes 10 minutes. Can we say with certainty there's not going to be rain? Can you say with certainty there's not going to be rain? The sky is clear, but you can say with certainty it's not going to be rain. So when it comes to reality, even though we think it's all certain, but there is so much uncertainty in it. And we have this false sense of notion that everything is certain, everything is predictable. And so trying to make everything predictable, so the experiences are predictable, so it's boring, it's limited. The three principles that I want us to just dwell deeper, that we are less matter, more energy. We are unlimited possibilities and potential, and our observation manifests the possibilities. The three statements. Let's look at the first one. You see here in this picture, an atom on the left side, a wave, energy wave, wave that just goes energy like a radio signal. A TV signal is a wave. It keeps traversing, right? It's traveling. This has no boundary. Keeps spreading until it finds enough resistance to completely cancel its energy, and so then slowly dies down, but otherwise keeps going. On the other hand, a particle, unless it's given a force and a push, it stays there. Right? Unless somebody applies some force, it stays there. The first thing, when you, in the quantum view, when you look into everything that is there, everything is made up of subatomic particles. A little bit of physics that we learned when we were children, students. All things, including the body, let's take a body. A body is made up of, all things are made up of ultimately subatomic particles, meaning there are atoms, there are molecules, there are, composite things above that, like organs or cells or anything. So take a human body. Human body has organs. From organs, you have cells. Skin is the largest organ, you have skin cells. Now we go inside the cell and look at it, then you got what? And you got 70% water. Right, there is water, which is like a molecule, H2O. There may be some, chemicals like cortisol or, elastin. Some of these are there. They all are composite chemicals that are there. So for a moment, let's take water. That is a molecule. It's called H2O molecule, 2 hydrogen and oxygen, right? So a body has organs. Organs has cells. Cells have chemicals or molecules. And the molecules, if you go deeper, then you have atoms, which are elements, right? That's where everything is made up of. All the material is made up of these elements. So you have these elements. Now take water as a molecule. You break it up, you get 2 hydrogen and oxygen, right? A little bit physics. Now you go a little deeper inside this atom, that hydrogen or oxygen. What do you find? You find electrons and a neutron, something that is there in the nucleus. A proton and electron, you got them. If you didn't study it, it's okay. But basically, if you go deep inside, then you got a nucleus in the center, inside an atom. And then there are these electrons. The nucleus at the center has a proton and a positive thing, and an electron, which are negative stuff, which are rotating around this nucleus. What is the significance of electrons and protons? These are containing mass, weight. They have some weight, maybe some picograms. There is some weight to each of them. Weight means some grams or pounds, or whatever the notation you use. Ounces and grams, ounces and grams, whatever, right? So the electrons and neutrons, the protons have weight, mass. What they found, dear friend, is very absurd to understand, is that the atom is 99.9999% empty inside. The thing that we thought is got matter, the solid stuff, the electron and neutron are only occupying 0.0000001%. Everything is empty. And they discover that emptiness is filled with energy. It's got some energy. It's got a wave function. It's got amplification. It's got frequency. Energy wave is a frequency. There's a frequency. Frequency is hertz. It's called how many times it oscillates per second, meaning that peaks and lows, how many times it does in a given second. It's frequency. So they found that there is energy in the emptiness. That's all energy. The matter that we thought is so tiny. So practically now that number becomes so difficult to pronounce, and I want us to round it up. So what do you get? To make it easy to say, should we continue to say 99.99999%, or is there an alternative to it? What is that we learn from mathematics? You round it up, it becomes 100, right? It doesn't become 99. So what it's saying is that our atom is near 100% empty. That means we are practically empty and filled with energy. If the atom is empty in energy, then the molecule is empty in energy, and so then the cell is empty in energy, and so then your organ is empty in energy, and so friends, your body is empty in energy. Almost empty in energy. Materially, it is so little. Yet, our whole focus and attention is only on matter. This is the absurdity, right? I mean, this is where the difficulty comes in understanding this. Our whole focus is always on matter because we are trained on it. We are conditioned to only look for matter. We are conditioned to look for boundaries. We are given a form to everything, and then there's a meaning that we gave is what interprets it as matter. Nobody ever told us and say, hey, look around the matter, that emptiness that is there around you, what you find. If we were trained on it, by now we would be reading everybody's auras with each other. We were reading our auras because everything around us, this emptiness has got an energy field. The aura is there. But we are trained to only look at matter, so we look at matter. It's a different thing. So first thing, dear friends, is we are fully energy. Now, I want to know, now you are energy, I am energy by default. Everybody in the room, in this conference, in this session is energy. Now, what they found, this energy is traversing from place to place. That energy is going beyond speed of light. That's also the other thing. The energy that is there, this emptiness is traversing beyond speed of light. That means it's literally here, is already there in the United States of America. It's there in Australia. It's there everywhere. Like that wave below, the energy of you, the energy of me, energy of everybody, energy of the items and everything is traversing, it's going, and it's moving. And when two energy fields move, and what happens? They intersect, right? You take, in a pond, you throw a stone, so then you get these waves. Now you throw another stone in somewhere in the pond, so you get another wave. Now these two start traversing in all directions, and then they come there, intersect, and they take a new shape. They become one, they combine into something else. So dear friends, when we say everything is, we are fully energy field, we are energy, not matter, that quantum energy field is this, where everybody's energy is interlinked as one single big large field. How much we are connected, we're so intricately connected because there is some billions and billions of various entities, sacral bodies, meaning the earth, the planet, stars, the people, everything is all interconnected as energy. One single energy field. So our atoms, our molecules, they're all are by default energy. And so they're all there as interconnected inside. So we have literally unlimited number of these atoms and molecules of everybody combined as energy staying there. Now, if we go a little deeper, at subatomic particle level, now they found one more startling fact. What is that? As the subatomic particle, what is a particle inside an atom? Electron and neutron, a proton, right? Electrons and protons, and neutrons too. Now these, what we call particle. Particle means something that has weight, mass. They said it is actually showing as energy. The electron is showing as energy. Friends, we're going a little deeper now. There is kind of connection to the thoughts create reality. Basically, the end of the conclusion that we're going to lead to is that your observation, your thought is actually going to make something into physicality. That's the whole idea. Now, if you accept the fact, you don't need to know anything about this lecture, right? So don't have to worry about why am I learning all this stuff, right? There are some of us want to know. And that's what made me really think about this whole thing differently. So at subatomic particle level, an electron, neutron, proton are by default what they observed is they observed as energy. They're not showing as particle. The thing they have a mass, that also is energy by default. When observed, a subatomic particle is becoming matter. So, but when is this electron showing up as matter? When they observed it. They've done experimentation. They're throwing electrons through a machine gun, and they were throwing the electrons onto a screen, and they throw it straight. And if it is a marble ball, like an electron is a particle, you throw it straight. What do you expect? If there is a screen in front, you throw it straight. You expect that the electron will go straight and hit the wall because it's a particle, right? If I take a ball and I keep throwing them in a straight line, in a straight plane, it'll hit the screen straight. And I form a single band if I'm throwing up and above and below. But then what they found when they're throwing electrons, it actually found multiple bands like a wave. It found multiple bands like a wave. Wave is going across and then hitting the screen. In the center where it hits the peak is strong, and then other places weak wave. You know, if I throw a stone in a pond, the wave opens up and goes, and assuming that at the end there is a screen, it's hitting, goes and hits. What happens? The strongest point is the center. That arc, that curvy thing is going and then hitting a screen. So obviously the strongest is the center, and then the rest of it is slowly is weakened. So this saw when electron is sent, they saw a wave nature. They said, I'm sending an electron, a particle, and comes wave. When they put an observer, it behaved like a particle. So let's look at this quick experiment, right? And to understand this quantum physics experimentation, and many, many thanks to Fred Alan Wolf, Dr. Fred Alan Wolf, for this video that so nicely brings this concept in a way that we can understand. It's called double slit experimentation.
And here we are, the granddaddy of all quantum weirdness, the infamous double slit experiment. To understand this experiment, we first need to see how particles, or little balls of matter, act. If we randomly shoot a small object, say a marble, at the screen, we see a pattern on the back wall where they went through the slit and hit. Now, if we add a second slit, we would expect to see a second band duplicated to the right. Now, let's look at waves. The waves hit the slit and radiate out, striking the back wall with the most intensity directly in line with the slit. The line of brightness on the back screen shows that intensity. This is similar to the line the marbles make. But when we add the second slit, something different happens. If the top of one wave meets the bottom of another wave, they cancel each other out. So now there is an interference pattern on the back wall. Places where the two tops meet are the highest intensity, the bright lines, and where they cancel, there is nothing. So when we throw things, that is, matter, through two slits, we get this, two bands of hits. And with waves, we get an interference pattern of many bands. Good so far. Now, let's go quantum. An electron is a tiny, tiny bit of matter, like a tiny marble. Let's fire a stream through one slit. It behaves just like the marble, a single band. So, if we shoot these tiny bits through two slits, we should get, like the marbles, two bands. What? An interference pattern. We fired electrons, tiny bits of matter through. But we get a pattern like waves, not like little marbles. How? How could pieces of matter create an interference pattern like a wave? It doesn't make sense. But physicists are clever. They thought, maybe those little balls are bouncing off each other and creating that pattern. So they decide to shoot electrons through one at a time. There is no way they could interfere with each other. But after an hour of this, the same interference pattern is seen to emerge. The conclusion is inescapable. The single electron leaves as a particle, becomes a wave of potentials, goes through both slits, and interferes with itself to hit the wall like a particle. But mathematically, it's even stranger. It goes through both slits, and it goes through neither. And it goes through just one, and it goes through just the other. All of these possibilities are in superposition with each other. But physicists were completely baffled by this. So they decided to peek and see which slit it actually goes through. They put a measuring device by one slit to see which one it went through and let it fly. But the quantum world is far more mysterious than they could have imagined. When they observed, the electron went back to behaving like a little marble. It produced a pattern of two bands, not an interference pattern of many. The very act of measuring or observing which slit it went through meant it only went through one, not both. The electron decided to act differently, as though it was aware it was being watched. And it was here that physicists stepped forever into the strange, never world of quantum events. What is matter? Marbles or waves? And waves of what? And what does an observer have to do with any of this? The observer collapsed the wave function simply by observing.
Okay, friends. It took me a few iterations to understand this experiment. It is okay if you didn't understand it, it's perfectly all right. But some of you watched it and you understood basically what it is saying. is that when you send electrons, and you thought they're marbles and they should form two bands, but they form wave as multiple bands, just like a wave, how it behaves. That means it's a default, it's behaving as energy. But when they put an observer, then the electrons behave like particle because the observer is expecting them to be seen as particle. So that means it becomes matter when you expect it to become matter. Otherwise, it's energy. That's the essence of this experimentation. So now, how do you relate it to our events in life, into a manifestation? So observation, that when I observe an electron becoming matter means, now what is an experience in our life? Every physical event that we are going through is nothing but a sequence of electrons and neutrons, all these subatomic particles. It's a sequence and a pattern of them. What is that pattern? For example, this particular event we take where we are all together in this lecture right now is be here. The pattern is a mass of electrons and neutrons of yours, wherever you are. Somebody in Chennai, somebody in Bangalore, or that me, and then many people around the world, there's a groups of electrons of yours as a field. And then there are the items that are there, the phones and everything, and all of them as a sequence of the pattern that is there all over the world come together. And then that event is collapsed by default, otherwise the electrons as energy, or they all collapse into physicality as matter, so that we are experiencing a physical event here. How did it happen? You thought about it, I thought about it, everybody thought about wanting to be in this event. So only because you thought about it, I thought about it, we were able to collapse this energy into physicality. Every physical event is an appearance of pattern of subatomic particles influenced by our observation, the collective observation and individual observation for those who are wanting to create things by ourselves. And what is observation? That your thought and feeling to get an experience. So in the quantum world, when we say possibilities, it's not about things, it's not about people, it's about an experience that you seek. I'm seeking an experience to do expedition to Mount Everest. That's an experience. And you can go next level and say, I am going with a group of 100 people and then doing that expedition. I'm camping at the base camp. I'm having that experience. Then you are bringing a set of people together to be there. And those people who also want a similar experience, who are thinking about it, then reciprocate back. And so that together the event gets collapsed. About your health, you are the master. So you think about what you're looking to have in your body. You send the signal, you visualize an experience of your knees being very, very strong to support you in climbing up and down your stairs at home 10 times every day. And so you're visualizing an experience because that experience is there in the quantum field as a combination of electrons and neutrons. Pretty simple. Because by default, we're energy. Everything is there. What you think is what you can create. Because that energy is sitting there with your observation, it comes into physicality. So dear friends, when you seek experiences, when you put your attention on an experience, then it is coming down into the physicality. Now going back, so with focused mind, we can manifest matter, create our life experiences. Meditation is developing a focused mind. Meditation is helping you to understand. Now, when you understand this concept, and with meditation, you are every day, when you're tuning in to this field of various experiences, because you're signaling through conscious mind, and then you're tuning into these frequencies in your meditation by dropping your conscious mind, where you're letting go of it, so you're becoming part of this quantum field. So bringing back to the science, the 5-step manifestation process, that if you understood that we are all infinitely connected and we are by default energy, our electrons, neutrons that are there in our body and everything is by default energy, sitting there as energy. And so you can take any combination of those electrons, neutrons. That means we can have any combination of experience that is possible by simply visualizing and imagining that combination. I can imagine to be climbing a hill nearby. I can imagine to do business with a friend. I can imagine to grow into a vice president position in my company to do certain experiences where I can visualize and think about. Somebody who matches to that frequency also will be part of your experience at that moment, at that point. I can imagine to be going into nature and then doing things. You can do it by yourself. You can do it by sending signal into the field of others also. Now, others, when they reciprocate with a similar thought and feeling, because you're communicating, so then that event will collapse into your physicality. Sort of explains why individually, where you're not impacting others, you can create things pretty faster. When you're having people also together in your experience, then you are seeking them to also reciprocate. If you are a mother, a parent, want your child to become something, but a child is not interested in that, but a child is interested in something else, then you do not have a coherent signal. They have one type, you have something else. The coherence is not there. It may not happen forever, for a long time. But the point is, dear friends, when you understand that infinity of experience in this quantum field, because infinity of electrons, neutrons, and protons of everybody sitting there as energy, you can simply observe any combination, and so that a combination becomes physical, simple. So unlimited possibilities exist, and then our observation can create it. So dear friends, with that understanding, next time when we say, I don't get a parking lot. Next time I say, I don't think I can meet this business goal. And next time when we say, oh, tomorrow I'm going to really have a tough time with the client. Please think about, there is other possibility of client being soft to you. If that's what we want, we put our attention on that, we be open to that, as opposed to closing the doors and saying client is going to be tough. That's really not what we want. I won't get parking. I don't get ticket. That's not what we want. So we should avoid, and basically avoid closing the doors by seeing things that are based on past. So hopefully this understanding will help us to be open. When we meditate, we are experiencing beyond the body, and then we start experiencing more than the body in this quantum field. So it helps us to be open to something more than the body. That meditation helps us to be open. And then when we start experimenting, and then the more experimentation you do, and the more things you experience that your thoughts are creating, then you start reinforcing that in the idea that, yes, I can create anything. So you become more open. Thank you very much, dear friends, to understand this, that we always are bringing as a fundamental concept, so that when you know more and more scientifically, then you feel like you can practice it with a lot more conviction. Yes, Pradeep, Rakesh, any announcements? But otherwise, we're going to meet tomorrow to journey through this into the third step about setting and doing visualization about clear goals. If we understood from today that any possibility exists, it's all about experiences. Now, goals and visualization is always on experiences. If you know what experience you seek, and you're collapsing those electrons, neutrons of all the things that are there, and so it comes into it. That's called clarity. Clarity is what experience you're seeking. You're not seeking simple promotion. You're not just saying, I want to grow my business. You're saying, if my business grew, this is the experience I'm going to have. If I get promotion, this is the experience I have. If my body health becomes great, then this is the experience I'm going to have. So it's about experiences that you're visualizing and dreaming about. So put your attention on it. Yes.
Thank you, Chandra. There's one announcement for those who have registered to be part of the practitioner certificate program. The quiz for the second week has been sent to your registered email ID. Please do check and respond to the quiz. Chandra, we have a participant.
Yes. So those of you plan time till now. So thank you so much for being here. And then we'll meet back again tomorrow. So feel free to exit. We'll do questions for some more time. Yes.
Yes. Vandana. Madam Vandana, go ahead. You can unmute yourself. Yes.
Happy evening. Thank you for this wonderful session. Just some clarity on the entire the video show what we saw. If we have to put the entire thing in one sentence, it is the experience or the feeling what we want from the universe. We can get it into the materialistic world. Is that what I understand is right? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
That's right. It's saying that it is showing multiple things. It's saying that everything is sitting as energy. What we thought matter is actually energy.
Okay.
And that energy becomes matter through our observation. And so then if you're clear about what you're looking to have or observe, then it becomes as an experience to us.
Okay.
Put your attention on the energy world.
Sorry.
Yes.
Number two, if we all are 99.999% energy, how can we feel that solid thing? I mean, just some confusion for that if we are 99.999% energy, empty space, how can we feel things and ourselves around the solid? How can we be physical?
So solid or soft is your notion, your conditioned understanding of what that is, right?
Okay.
It's just a conditioned understanding. There could be an animal who may touch a human and say, oh, what are these guys like a jelly? They're going in like this. If somebody has really hard skin or whatever, right? They may sense it differently. Okay. So it's all our understanding of, it's a relative perspective that we've been conditioned to feel or give a meaning to that way. They're all words. What we are trained to see is what we are seeing. We are trained to give a shape to everything that we see and say this is this, this is that, and so that's what we are interpreting as. But the fact is, this our body's electrons also are oscillating between 6 to 8 times a second, become energy and matter, energy and matter, energy and matter. It's fast enough that we don't observe it through our naked eye because our eye cannot see, distinguish. Like our eye can only see 0.1% of the entire spectrum that exists out there. So it is difficult to understand this concept. But what we're interpreting is based on what we've been conditioned to. Solid, lighter, and all that. Okay. And we are energy, becoming matter, but something observed us as matter. Somebody, just the way we are observing, I want the specks. Only because I put enough attention, it came into my life. You agree with that, right? The specks came to my life only because I put enough attention on it. I thought about it, that I need to have specs. I went to somebody, they checked my eyesight, then I gave enough attention to pick one, and they made it, they came to me. If I didn't put my attention, it doesn't come. So same way, somebody put attention, so we are here. I mean, intelligence put attention, each of us are here. Just that we were putting attention to bring things into our life. If we didn't put our attention, it's not coming into your life. At some point or other, we would have wished for it. And sometimes we're asking, we're looking for it actively. But if we didn't look for activity, but at some point you wished for it. Or you allow things to happen because somebody wants to give it and you're allowing it to happen. That means you are open to receiving. So the point is that from this thing, what you understand is everything is energy. And in energy, we can create a template of what you're looking for to have. If we can construct it, that means you visualize it. Then it is coming into physical, like the electrons becoming matter. All of that will become physical. That's really what this experiment is exploring. And so how can I feel I'm only seeing matter, there's no emptiness, because it's not been trained. People look at individuals and say, oh, I see different colors around you. That halo is there, the aura is there. They see energy first before they see the physicality of matter. The physicality is seen because it's conditioned. You have to understand from that perspective. Next one.
Okay. We have
Yes.
Good evening, Master. My question is that now, as you said, like we are open to receive it. So how can we be like close that we are not in that state to receive anything?
You're asking me to explain what is that state. Are you saying you're always open? How
See,
can
if
you not?
someone is cursing, we think it may be received by us. If otherwise someone are doing some black magic, that should not be, like I am not open for that. But
Open
how
to
will
receive.
affect? We are
Open
not
to
observing
receive.
that also.
Yeah. When we say open to receive, we're talking about not blocking by ourselves. What to receive, you have a choice. What to receive, you always have a choice. People can keep on influencing you with their own thought field because we're all connected. They can continue to influence. The signal will come to you, but what you want to experience is your thought and yours. You can send the signal appropriately to know what you want to take or not take. Suppose a person comes to you. Something I don't feel right, so I don't want to interact. It's your choice. It's a choice. Right? So the choice to reject is there, actively, consciously. But many times we are rejecting subconsciously without knowing, based on the past. I won't get it. It's not possible by me. Oh, you can try anyway. It's not going to happen. These are all what I'm saying, that we are closing the doors. We want something, but we close the doors by we saying things, we feeling things, by blocking things. That's what we're talking about. And we say, be open to things that you want. To interpret this sentence, develop openness to possibilities that you want to have in your life. Okay, the experience you want to have, be open, because that experience is there as a choice. And you're not seeking an experience of a black magician doing things to you, so don't bother about that part here. Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's all. We don't have anyone else but
Okay. All right. Thank you, friends. We'll see you all tomorrow to explore the further science. Thank you all. Wonderful day. Yes, we can circulate the slides, not a problem. All our content is free, so we will circulate it. We can also, that you can access it directly, easily through the video, or we can circulate. Please write your facilitator. Thank you. Bye-bye. Let's try some music.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so am so